नमस्ते, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। कैसे हैं आप सब? उम्मीद है आशा चंगे होंगे। When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. Now, bulletin board plays a quintessential role in this lesson. Why? Because all the bad news, whether it was related to battles or it was related to draft or it was related to the orders of the commanding officer, everything came from the bulletin board, right from the bulletin board. And I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? So now he stopped for a minute, he took a pause, he stopped for a minute and thought about that what could be the matter now? What could be the concern now? Right? Then as I hurried by as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin called after me. Don't go so fast, pup. You'll get to your school in plenty of time. I thought he was making fun of me and reached M. Hamel's little garden all out of breath. So I thought that basically he was making fun, but rather it was not that case. Usually, when school began, there was a great bustle. Obviously, whenever school is about to begin, there's a lot of great hustle and bustle that we get to see all around, which could be heard in the street, which could be heard out in the street as well. The opening and what kind of bustle is there? Opening and closing of desks, right? Which is very common, pretty common in schools. Lessons repeated in unison, that is lessons that are united, that are read that are read together in unison. As we discussed, it refers to together. So lessons that are read together very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping, that is basically banging on the table. but now it was but now it was also still, it was all so quiet. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen, but of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Now, again, talking about Sunday morning here refers to on Sundays we have our church service, and it's a quiet, it's a still morning. Why? Because it's a holiday, right? So, through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places, and M. Hamel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. But nothing happened. M. Hamel saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you." Now, I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on inspection and prize days. Now, what could I see? I could see that he was wearing his green, beautiful green coat, which he only used to wear on special occasions. So he was wearing it that particular day, which actually he wore it when I either it was an inspection day or it was something that had to do with price. Now, when we talk about Sunday, it was the church service, the tranquil atmosphere that we're talking about. That was no longer there. Now, what do we get to see? But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty, the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. Old Hauser with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, and several others besides. Everybody looked sad, and Hauser had brought an old primer thumbed at the edges, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. While I was wondering about it all, M. Hamill mounted his chair and in the same grace, that is, in a very serious tone, in a very monotonous and serious tone and gentle tone, which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin." Please underline that, please mark that. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive. What a thunderclap that is! It was a kind of a shock that we talk about. These words were to me. Oh, the cruel or the unkind people. That was what they had put up at the town hall. My last French lesson, why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn any more. I must stop there and then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs or going sliding on the Saar. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry, my grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now that I couldn't give up. And M. Hamel, too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. So, this is what we are talking about, that how earlier, seeing the birds, seeing the eggs of the birds, how the nature attracted him so much, and why, how just before this time period, this passage of time, the book seemed like a nuisance, but now all the books, all the things that he used to dislike, he started liking now, he started regretting now. So that's what we are talking about over here. This is Sukriti Joshi, signing off.